Welcome to Thinking Out Loud February Starter Podcast.
Yes. Boy, it feels like forever since we've been together.
I know. we did our last podcast super long ago. How long ago was our last podcast?
Oh, maybe about a few minutes.
Yeah, I thought maybe 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Welcome to February, everybody. This is a leap year.
My mom gets a birthday this year.
Is she a leap year baby?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So how old is she in leap years?
13.
I bet she loves that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know I have a friend too that their daughter is a leap year baby and she'll be 3.
Oh, awesome.
And she's like 8 or 9 or something like that.
No, 12.
12. Yeah, she's older. So I thought that was kind of cool. Well, so February we had plans to have a couple people on, and are having a hard time booking them because of times and rides and different snafus that are working, not with anything against us, but with the people that we're trying to get on to the podcast. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to focus February on drug addiction and safe exchange and things like that, so that people know that our podcast can handle some serious issues.
Yes.
We're not just silly and frivolous all the time, but we're trying to bring some real thinking about what's going on in the community.
Yes.
So one of our podcast people that we're hoping to get in touch with, we had a snafu with the time today, and he was supposed to do a podcast with us today, but we're hoping to get him within the next week or so. Mm-hmm. His name is Kyle, and he has started a NA group for Bethel, Vermont. And I think that is super important to plug. He is in recovery himself. I'm looking forward to hearing his story. And it's kind of done a 180 in the last year to get where he's going. But I also wanted to talk about the programs, some of the programs and agencies that are out there that are helpful. Do you know of anybody that's helpful that you've heard of, Jay?
Clara Martin.
So Clara Martin Center is a good one. Clara Martin Center does have a not well broadcasted needle exchange in their back of their office. No, wait, I said that wrong. Not a needle exchange. That is not what I meant to say. They have a Narcan exchange in their building. If you know where it is, you can go in and do it yourself. If you don't know where it is, you can ask the front desk that you want Narcan. You don't have to tell them why, where, what, who, nothing. You just say that I want Narcan, and they will give it to you. Mm-hmm. So I will say that this day and time that there is a huge need for everybody to carry Narcan. Mm-hmm. With the drugs and stuff that are out there today, everything is being dosed with fentanyl. It takes sometimes 2 or 3 doses of Narcan to get the person back. Wow. So if you don't have 2 doses of Narcan on you and you're only able to do it once, you may or may not save their life. Wow. It's really important that the first thing you do is call 911. Yeah. And get an ambulance headed towards you so that you'll have that happening. And because Narcan is free at certain places, you want to definitely have that. Right. Even if you yourself are not a drug user, even if you yourself only smoke weed, if you your only self takes pain pills, you want to make sure that you have that.
And we do want to mention, even though we can be addictive, it's, I almost want to say, not that bad.
Okay.
Is that the word?
Well, what are you talking about?
Or it's okay.
Well, what are you talking about? In what sense?
I don't know.
Okay, well, just try to explain it to me, because then I can help you.
Like, for example, like, we define it's
Right. So sometimes weed is fine, but if you're in recovery, then you're in recovery from everything, right?
True.
So it could be alcohol, every alcohol. It could be every drug. It could be like, I'll smoke weed, but I don't do narcotics, and I don't do benzos, or I don't do opiates, or whatever. That is up to the person that is using to determine.
Right.
Because I know lots of people that don't think weed is a drug. Weed is a drug. It's not necessarily one of the bad ones that you have to worry about, but for some people, weed is a bad thing.
Right.
Weed controls how much they smoke a day. Weed controls where they go, how much money they spend.
Wow.
So, whereas you and I can smoke weed casually, some other people might need to have it to function throughout their whole day.
Right.
And some people might say that that's an addiction that needs to be taken care of, because you're not spending time with your family, you're not doing anything else but smoking. Right? So it's not discriminatory when we're talking about drugs and alcohol.
Right.
We're just simply bringing some awareness to where you can get some of these products. So there's an organization called Vermont Cares, and predominantly they deal with people that are HIV positive or Hep C positive, but they have needle exchange in Burlington and in Montpelier. You can bring your needles there, and they will give you that amount of needles to take home. There's no questions asked. There's no questionnaires. There's no paperwork. There's no names or anything that you need to have.
Can you bring needles to a pharmacy?
So you can, I don't know if you can bring needles to a pharmacy. You cannot put needles in those bins that say bringing drugs back or whatever. You cannot put needles in those. Those are strictly for prescription medications, not gels, not creams, and not needles. But I don't think that you can bring needles back to a pharmacy. I think it's considered something in the HIPAA or not in the HIPAA, but in their
FDA.
Yeah, something that they can't take back. So only certain places take them back. I got some information from Clara Martin Center. I got this one pamphlet, and it's called Never Use Alone. I will put it up on the website or on our page. But basically, it's no judgment, no shaming, no preaching, just love. And the number is 800-484-3731. And it's basically, if you are going to use drugs, either intravenously or orally, and you're scared that it may be laced with fentanyl or something else, or you're scared that you're going to use alone and something's going to happen, they will stay on the phone with you and remain on the phone with you until you are comfortable to get off. So that means they will just talk about normal things, whatever you want to talk about. You dictate the conversation, and it's a safe place. So they can call 911 if something happens.
Can I ask for the phone number one more time?
Yeah, it's 1-800-484-3731. And everything's confidential. There are some treatment resources if you're thinking, hey, this shit isn't working for me anymore. I want to get off. I don't want to use anymore, but I don't know how to go about it. They can give you some resources as to where to go for NA meetings, AA meetings, counseling, inpatient, other things. And then they have harm reduction resources as well. So where to get the needle exchanges, where to get the Narcan, where to get the test kits. I believe that Claire Martin told me that they also have test strips for fentanyl. So if you have a drug that you're going to be using, smoking, shooting up, snorting, whatever, you can test it for fentanyl first and then go from there. I want to say that the local police departments usually used to have Narcan, but I don't know if they still do. But I'm going to, when I post this this week, I'm also going to put some information of some places that take inpatient for drug addiction. I've never been addicted to drugs, but I lived with someone for 13 years that was very much addicted.
Wow.
And it's a very, very hard disease to watch. There's a lot of lying, there's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of betrayal. And there's a lot of ups and downs when you know that the person is using, but you want to just kind of be blind to it so that it feels normal.
Right, and not just drugs, alcohol too.
You can be addicted to anything.
Yeah.
Food, coffee, smoking.
It's alcohol is just as sad.
Alcohol is just as sad and just as bad as using drugs.
Yeah.
And just because it's legal doesn't mean that it doesn't do bad things.
Right.
I've seen it tear people apart, tear families apart, cost money. Mm-hmm. You know, the cost behind using drugs, sometimes you're selling things that you think that you don't even need anymore. Right. You know, and then by the time you look around, you're sitting in one chair in your house and everything's gone.
Right.
And it's gone up your nose or gone in your veins.
Wow.
So, you know, I think that this month we're going to try to focus on that, and try to get Kyle to come on, and we have something in the works for Polestar dispensary as well. And I was waiting for them to come back from vacation to interview one of the people from there, because I want both sides.
Yes.
You know, I want both sides. So. Do you have anything else to add about addiction or or drugs?
Just if you want help, try to get help.
Right.
And is there any numbers you know that they can call if they want help?
Hold on one second. Try to keep them busy.
Yes, hold on. We're gonna be back.
Akash! So, I'm doing a podcast. Shut up. Did you hear me?
Did you turn off your microphone?
No, I didn't turn off my mic. So you just heard me yell at my kid. My 19-year-old kid that shouldn't be growling downstairs.
What?
He's playing hockey on the game, and I'm assuming he's probably losing.
What was he saying?
He was growling. You didn't hear him? He was growling.
Do you want me to do this?
No, it's okay. We have bloopers and everything in this, right?
Yes.
We're good. Unedited. Mom here of 5 kids, you know? Something happens.
5?
5 kids.
I thought you were a mom of many others.
Oh, I'm a mom to a lot of kids, but biologically I've got 5. Mm-hmm. So that works. But anyways, back to our seriousness of the conversation. You can always call 911. You can call 411 or 211 and get information.
411.
Yeah, 411 is one that you can call. And there's, I don't know if that's on here or not. Let me look. There's another hotline. I'm going to have to get that, but there's another hotline that you can call for mental health too. And I want to say it's 888, but it's not 888. Anyways, I'll figure that out and put that up on the page as well. Know that you can always call your local mental health facility. You can call your local police department. Reach out to a friend.
Yes.
Reach out to a parent, a sibling, whoever you trust to have at that point in time. Just reach out to them.
Right.
And we know that with addiction comes sadness and grief and a lot of different things. Sometimes people are using because they're depressed, which makes them even more depressed to use.
and I tried to reach out to call them, but he hasn't returned my calls yet.
Oh, okay. Do you have his phone number?
No, all I have is the school's
The school email or school phone
number.
Oh, so you were asking to get transferred or whatever? Maybe I have his personal phone number, so maybe I'll text him too, because he would be a really good resource too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to have him on.
Yeah, so that brings us to the next little area of business.
Yes.
We need people to interview. People love our podcasts from what we're hearing. Yes. People love that we're doing weather and the prep for bad storms and stuff. They love that.
I got one suggestion.
Okay, let's hear it.
Week. I forgot his name, but they're gonna start a homeless shelter in, I don't know their names, but someone is trying to open a homeless shelter in Randolph.
And you don't remember who it was?
They didn't know their names.
Oh, oops.
And you can.
Okay, this is. I won't use her name. She said, I have a couple of interesting ideas. I think you could do one of the group of people trying to open a homeless shelter and the need for one in our area. I think that's great. I think we need a little bit more information on who that was so that we could go from there. I would definitely want to know something about a homeless shelter, because we have one homeless bed in Randolph right now, and it's at the Bethany Rectory. It's one bed.
I thought, is Safe Haven only for mental health? Or
yes. Yeah. They have to have co-occurring drug addiction and mental health issues. I think you could do one about what it's like to live in Randolph when you come from another country. That would be good too. If we could find somebody that had done that, that would be great. I also think you could do one about what it's like to do a podcast in a small town like Randolph. That would be fantastic. I honestly thought that in the spring, after things kind of warm up a little bit, that we could do an On the Street with Jay.
Yes.
And just interview people that were walking by and asking them how long they've been in Randolph and what they like about Randolph.
Good idea.
I also think my partner, Jay, would be good for somebody coming from a city from a country.
Right.
To a city, to a country, to the country from a city.
Right.
I also think that we should kind of pin him down and kind of interview him about that.
I've been really looking forward.
And he said he wanted to do something about cooking, so you could interview him while he's cooking.
Yeah.
In his element.
Yeah. I've been.
But yes, thank you very much for those suggestions. I really appreciate having anybody say the suggestions to me. I really got really good reviews about our weather, and that was something we want to continue to do, as far as like what you need to do in a blackout, what you need to do when the weather's bad or whatever. Kind of go from there. What else?
We are soon, I think we're gonna do this in February or March. We're gonna visit Aired Out.
Yes, we're just waiting for JD. You or you and me, I don't know who it's going to be. If it's just going to be you or if it's going to be you and me, I don't know.
Hopefully you. I would love it if it's
both of us.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what Jay says. See what.
Even if B wants to
come to.
Up to him.
And I know they're in their new studio, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's great. We're great that Aired Out is finally back on Main Street in Barrie, and with their beautiful new studio.
Yes, and he interviewed this. I forgot the name of the website, but this kid named Connor.
Yeah, Connor's going to come on our podcast. He's going to hopefully be at the end of February, beginning of March. We're trying to hone in on days, but he's a really great kid that
you talked to them.
I did talk to them. Yeah, and he's a really great kid that does affirmations, but he's a really positive kid.
Yes.
He's a really great kid, so we can't wait to have him on.
Right.
That'll be a good one too. What else, Jay? So if you want to be on Thinking Out Loud, you remember the ways to get a hold of me?
Email is the best.
Right. So email is the best, and our email is thinkingoutloud12324@gmail.com. Or you can text me or call me at 802-779-2925. Or you can leave a message on our Thinking Out Loud page for Facebook.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The best times for interviews are late mornings, early afternoons.
Yes, late mornings or early afternoon. And we're trying to do it Tuesday, Wednesday of the week. Because I have things on Thursday, you usually go see Pop on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, or Mondays.
Yeah, or Mondays. So
Mondays, we usually do it Saturdays, Sundays, or Mondays.
Yeah, so we have a schedule and what we're trying to live by too. We try not to do any podcasts after 4:00 because Jay and Brendan both have problems being out past a certain time.
Yes.
We need to really make sure our clientele knows that and can adhere to those kind of things. Kyle and I had a little bit of a discrepancy in time, so we wanted him here at 1 today, and he wasn't going to be here until 5, and that doesn't work for us right now.
Right, and I was honestly feeding when
at 12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to get all this stuff done so that Jay can go home and take a nap.
I don't nap, but
so he can kind of be in for the day. I mean, there's something to be said for like jamas and hanging around the house. Yeah. You know, when you're home, I mean, for the last 2 days, that's what I've been doing because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it took everything out of me that I had. I literally was a shell. Like I was crying at everything. Between that and menopause, I'm like, you know, I can't do this anymore right now. I can't do this. And thankfully, my partner is so great at calming me down and taking some of the burden off and keeping me calm. It's been really a joy to have this as a relationship. It's very different than any of my other relationships. And it's been very nice. So
he seems like he's good people.
He is a good person. He's a very good person.
I really want to get to know him more.
Yeah, he's a really good person. And it's really nice to have somebody in your life that wants to see you calm, cool, and collective and not always antsy and always really upright, you know. Right. Brendan was really having a really hard morning this morning because of stuff that he was doing. And he knew that I was irritated and it was just irritating me. So Jay came down and he actually did the dishes and I just rinsed the dishes and, you know, did what I needed to do. But sometimes it's just nice to have somebody to hold you and be like, hey, you know, it's okay. Like I'm here.
Yeah, that was sometimes I message you, tell you you're okay.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's nice to have friends like that. You know, people that are in addiction don't always have that. Right. They have addicted friends that are all doing the same thing they're doing, but when they want to get clean, they don't have anybody. Right. So these agencies have people that will talk to you. And, you know, coming full circle in this, it's really important to have friendships and really important to have a great partner. If you and your partner are using and you want to get clean, that's going to be really hard for having the partner that isn't clean.
And to be honest with you, a couple of my good friends, they they battled the bottle before.
Yeah.
And they are amazing people.
Yeah, just because just because you use alcohol or use drugs doesn't mean you're an amazing person, right?
Right.
I mean, my ex-husband was an amazingly smart person. He was non-judgmental. He was so caring. He was so loving. He loved my kids like they were his own, you know? It's just important to remember that those are people too.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't think I ever met him.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if you met him or not. Yeah, he was a very good person. He was very, very smart. He had a bachelor's in psychology, which he got later in life, kicked ass at doing schooling. It was all online schooling, and it was amazing, you know? But when you're battling addiction, sometimes addiction wins.
Yes.
And that's a sad thing to happen, you know?
Right.
So if we can bring any new hope to people that are in addiction, we want to do that. You know, we want to make sure that you have all the resources. Maybe you know of somebody that needs resources, or maybe you yourself have a problem with addiction. We want to get that out there. So we will, with this episode, put up the information that we do have. And remember, we're still doing our food shelf cookbook. It's Eat Well on $4 a day, Good and Cheap by Leanne Brown, and it's got some amazing pictures in here. Some really great pictures. We are, for the person that donates the most to the food shelf, is going to get this as a copy of our thank you, as a thank you from us.
And your Venmo.
And I'll put my Venmo and my Cash App in the description of our video. Also,
will they get a?
This is what they'll get. They'll get this copy of our book, and may get another little surprise in there. We also want to mention that we are going to be picking our logo very soon.
Yes.
And that logo will be on some shirts. And you'll have the opportunity to get a shirt from our distributor if you would like. You'll have to pay for it, but they'll be offered. Then we are able to make our business cards, and then we'll be able to hand out our business cards to people, and it'll be really great. It's taken a little bit of time to get to that point, but we wanted to make sure it was done right.
Yes, and do you know any businesses have a event coming up or anything?
Right. Any businesses that are coming up, any businesses that have any big things coming up that they want to advertise, or any businesses in town that you'd want us to interview, or any people that you think that we should interview. There are so many great people in Randolph.
I know.
And so many people have a story to tell.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That way I would love to try get Zoom set up. Or something.
Somehow to record the Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be really cool. So I guess that's all for today, right? And we'll look forward to seeing you next week. You want to take us out?
Have a good day.